SpongeBob is throwing a jellyfish party. He invited Patrick, Sandy, Squidward, Mr. Krabs, and Plankton. Assuming the guests arrive one at a time, ... We're going to do this together. I'll give you some time to think about it in between. So again, this section is 2-1 through 2-4 combined. So probability along with your counting techniques. So assuming the guests can arrive one at a time, so no one's coming together. Part A, how many ways can each guest arrive to the party? We're going to assume also that the order in which they arrive is important. Yeah, so we can do this in 2-1. We would have done this and say, well, 5 people could have come first, and 4 second, and 3, and 2, and 1. Or you could have said 5 factorial. Or if this were 2.2, you could have said, of the 5 unique people, we want all 5 to arrive. Any of those 3 are acceptable. You only have to write one of them, and then tell me what the answer is. What is 5 factorial? 120. So there's 120 ways the guests could arrive. B. How many ways can Sandy arrive first and Squidward last? Well, if Sandy has to arrive first, how many ways can that occur? And if Squidward has to arrive last, so how many guests could have arriven newward second? 3, because 2 are already predetermined. How many can arrive third and fourth? Good. So remember, we had this style of problems in 2-2. So you know this is 2-5. It goes back to it. But notice, in Part A and in Part B, do the words probability appear? No. In Part C, it's now saying, what is the probability? When the question says, what is the probability, you can only give your answer one of 3 ways. What are the 3 acceptable ways of writing a probability? Fraction, decimal, rhymes with mercent, percent. Fraction, decimal, percent. 90% of the time, you'll be doing a fraction. Remember, probability is part over whole. So part C, what is the probability that Sandy arrives first and Squidward last? So remember, part over whole. The numerator would represent the number of ways Sandy could arrive first and Squidward last. 6. That was part B. So the numerator is the number of ways Sandy is first and Squidward is last. What in English would the denominator represent? How many ways the guests can arrive? Oh my gosh, 120. What is 6 over 120? 1/20. You got it right. You're good. Good. So anytime you see probability, you want to do part over whole. Think to yourself, what does the numerator mean over what does the denominator mean? Yes. So we accounted for Sandy and Squidward in part B, so it just carries down. But again, notice A and B, probability does not appear. Your answer is a whole number. Part C, the word probability appears. We need a fraction. Decimal or percent, fraction's easiest. Now, D. Take a minute. This one's evil. A good kind of evil. See what you can do. So as a hint, you're most likely going to give your answer as a fraction. Which part of that fraction is going to be very easy to do? The bottom. What's the bottom going to be? 120. Because that, again, represents the total number of ways the guests could arrive. What's the numerator going to represent in English? How many different times Sandy could arrive before Squidward? Would anyone like to make a guess? Yeah. How'd you get 24? All right, let's do it. So there's 5 slots here. So if Sandy came first, then Squidward could come here, 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 or here. So how many options are there for Squidward if Sandy came first? 4. If Sandy came second, Squidward could arrive here, here, or here. He could not arrive first because then that means he came before Sandy. So how many options are there for Squidward there? 3. Sandy came third. How many ways could Squidward arrive? If Sandy came fourth, how many ways Squidward could arrive? If Sandy came last, how many ways could Squidward arrive? 0. I know. You were. So, do we multiply these? No, because if you multiply them, you get a 0. But we know that in part B, Sandy can beat Squidward. What do we do with these numbers? Why? What word is implied? Not and. Or Sandy could arrive first or second or third or fourth or fifth. We don't multiply them. We add them. Mm-hmm. Yep. But the thing is, the thing that should have triggered it is, well, we have to account for all 5 spaces, and the 5th space had to be a 0. So your product would have been 0. So something's bad there. What is 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1? What is 10 over 120? 112. Yeah. So parts A and B were permutation. Parts C and D, we started to introduce the probability concept. D had the added bonus of hearing the word or again. That's why you want to pretend that you're actually doing the problem. So Sandy could have come first or second or third or fourth or fifth. Sandy could not have come first and second and third, and that's impossible because that's cloning. By the way, does everyone know what Sandy does? What's her job? She's a scientist. She's under there. She's down underwater for, she's got a grant. Yeah. Hello, episode 203. Come on.